Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. I'm Nick. So we finally got the Record Store Day Black Friday list. Today I'm going to give you my first takes after going over it. There's a bunch of links down below. You got links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the merch page, for the Spotify and Apple Music playlist that I put together every week, and the Patreon page. So make sure you check all that out. Like always, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new episodes. So Record Store Day Black Friday is going to be Friday, November 29th. The list just came out. It typically comes out at the beginning of October. So when I went through the list, it just came out within the last hour that I'm recording this video. And I'm just going to kind of skim through it, kind of give you what I think of it initially. But typically what happens is once I go through this list and kind of sit with it and go over it multiple times over the next couple of weeks, I'll find some more albums. I'll probably end up talking about doing a couple of videos about this. But at least with this one, these are like the first 10 that I really thought were kind of interesting on this list. So if you're new to Record Store Day and Record Store Day Black Friday, Record Store Day happens typically the third Saturday in April every year. And then Record Store Day Black Friday is the Friday after Thanksgiving here in the U.S. And there's multiple different releases that come out over that on those days. There's what's called an RSD first, which is it's going to come out on Black Friday or on Record Store Day, and then eventually get reissued down the line. So those are ones that aren't typically or aren't necessarily only going to be exclusive to that day. And then there's RSD exclusive releases, which are if you want that album, that's the only time you're going to get it, or you're going to have to pay, increased prices on eBay or Discogs down the road. So like I said in the beginning, this is kind of me just going over the list initially. I just jotted down a bunch of notes on, like I said, 10 albums that I saw that kind of going over it the first time. I'm sure I'll add some more things to my list. I'm sure I'll knock some of these off also when pricing comes out. But drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to grabbing for Record Store Day Black Friday, or if you're even interested in going. I know I've already seen a lot of people online that are complaining about the list this year, which even on years where I think there's a great list, there's always people complaining. It's one of those things where you're never going to make everyone happy. But the first one is Better Than Ezra Deluxe. This is going to be a 2 LP release. It's an RSD first, so it will eventually get reissued down the line. There's only going to be 1,500 copies coming out on Record Store Day Black Friday. It's going to be on Grape Vinyl. This was their big breakthrough hit, and it was only ever released on vinyl. I think it was back in 2018 for the 25th anniversary. It was released as like a really limited release. I've never seen a copy of it in any record stores. Typically goes for more than I'm willing to pay for this record. If you want to grab it online, but this is one of those albums where depending on the price, if it's $30 or around there, I might grab it for Record Store Day Black Friday. The next one is one that I'm kind of really interested in. So this is Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft. This is an isolated vocals album. So what you're getting, of course, this was Billie Eilish's new album that came out earlier this year. So at least from the description I'm getting on this one, it looks like it's just the vocal tracks off of those albums, or off that album. Looks like there's 25,000 copies of this thing that's going to be available. So it should be pretty easy to grab. At least I'm assuming it'd be pretty easy to grab on Black Friday. I'm always really kind of fascinated by these isolated vocal tracks. I watch a lot of them on YouTube, so that's why I'm sure this is going to be available either on YouTube or on streaming services. I'll listen to those isolated tracks and kind of check it out, but it's one of those things where I don't necessarily have to have a copy of it on vinyl. The next album is one that I'm not surprised at all to see on the Black Friday list. I figured it was either going to be a Black Friday release or a Record Store Day 2025 release. There was a big Interscope Vinyl Collective release of this a couple months ago, so that sold really well. So like I said, I wasn't surprised to see it on the list this year. But that is Betty by Helmet. It's a 2 LP release. It's going to be an RSD first, so we'll probably get reissued down the line. 3,500 copies is going to be available. It's going to be on bluish green vinyl. This is the album I discovered Helmet with. I remember when this came out in 1994. I had a friend that was a huge fan of it, and it took me a while to get around listening to it. But once I did, it was something I definitely had to pick up on cassette. This is album where the growing cost of vinyl really kind of impacts me, because I have to sit down and actually think about this. This one where it really kind of depends on what price they put on this album for Record Store Day, because as much as I do like this album, I don't know if this is going to be like a $40 album it's going to be kind of hard for me to pick it up because I don't really know how often I'm really going to listen to it. That's kind of where I'm at right now with my record collecting. I try to, especially with as expensive as records have gotten, I really kind of try to be more selective with what I pick up. And that's why, yeah, I got 10 albums on my list today. But, when the pricing comes out over the next couple of weeks, it might drastically trim it down. So the next release is one that I kind of put in the same category. It really depends on price. If this thing's like $100, I'm definitely out on it. Actually, if it's more than like $50, I'm probably out on it. But we'll have to see what it is when the pricing comes out. But this is Mötley Crüe, Dr. Feelgood, 35th Anniversary 7-inch singles box set. There's 5 7-inch singles in this one. It's an RSD exclusive. It's going to be limited to 1,300 copies. And the reason why I'm out on this is because I already have a copy of this in the vinyl box set that I got, what was it, last year I grabbed that. And then there's also, I'm probably going to grab a copy of the 35th anniversary when it comes out over the next few weeks here. So this one looks like a really interesting release. I kind of like these 7-inch box sets, even though I don't really listen to them that much. And that's why it really kind of depends on pricing. But so in this box set, you got Dr. Feelgood, Sticky Sweet, Kickstart My Heart, She Goes Down, Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away, Rattlesnake Shake, Without You, Slice Your Pie, Same Old Situation, and Wild Side. Of course, it comes with Mötley Crüe bandages, because why not? Mötley Crüe can't put a box set together without having useless stuff in it that no one wants to have. Like I said, it looks interesting. I might grab it depending on price. And then the next one is one I'm sure I'm going to grab, but I'm a little confused by this because I think it was already released just recently. This is Olivia Rodrigo, Gut Spilled. It's 2 LP release. It's going to be an RSD first, so it will probably get reissued down the line. There's 30,000 copies of this thing that's going to be available, which I think is a lot for Record Store Day Black Friday, but I'm sure they'll sell through because Olivia Rodrigo stuff always does. But this is on red and purple marble vinyl, and that's kind of what I was getting at with this release is this was just released not too long ago through her website. It might be a different color vinyl. Really, the only difference is between the release that's already available and this one is this one comes in an exclusive purple sleeve, which is another one of those kind of quirky little things that really doesn't matter. I don't have a copy of it on vinyl. I probably will grab this one when it comes out. This is just the standard album with the 5 additional bonus tracks. It's already all been released already. Like I said, I'm surprised they're doing something like this for Black Friday. So it wouldn't be a Record Store Day Black Friday without a Pearl Jam release. It seems like every year they do one, but this year you're getting RSD Song of the Year. This is a 12-inch single. It's an RSD exclusive. There's 4,000 copies of it. So this for in celebration of Record Store Day Black Friday, Pearl Jam is releasing this 12-inch single. It only has 2 songs on it. And that's the thing that kind of gets me. They're both from the recent Dark Matter tour. You've got Waiting for Stevie, which is from the Seattle leg, and then you got Wreckage from the Las Vegas leg. I mean, come on, Pearl Jam. As much as I love love the band, I love the music, why do just 2 songs on this? Why not fill out, if you're going to put the 12-inch album together, just kind of fill it out with music. I think that would be a better overall release. The next 2 releases are the 2 albums that is going to make me go out for Record Store Day Black Friday. They're both must-haves for me. I love both these albums. The first one is Ramones' Greatest Hits. It's a 1 LP release. It's going to be an RSD exclusive. Limited to 5,000 copies. It's going to be available on red vinyl. This was the band's Greatest Hits compilation from, I think it was 2006 when this one came out. But the thing is with this album, I'm really surprised it's only going to be on 1 LP because I think it's like 57 minutes, just over 57 minutes. So I would have rather seen them do a 2 LP release and just do like 3 sides of the 2 LPs and maybe do like a D-side etching with a logo. I think that might have been a cool release. I mean, regardless, I'm still going to pick it up. I love the band. I love all the tracks that are on there. There's 20 tracks across their incredible career on that release. So it's definitely one I want to grab. And then you've got Stone Temple Pilots, Purple Rarities. This is a 1 LP release, an RSD exclusive, limited to 3,000 copies. It's going to be on purple vinyl. These are all demos and alternate takes from Purple. All these tracks were available on the Super Deluxe box set that came out, probably 2 years ago when that one came out. But this is the first time it's ever been available on vinyl. These are actually some pretty good demos. I've listened to them a couple of times on CD. I think they're available on streaming too. I haven't gone through the track listing for Purple in a while on Apple Music, so that might be available on there also. If you haven't listened to them, like I said, both of these are must-haves for me. It also wouldn't be a Record Store Day without a release from the Doors. We're getting Live in Detroit on Black Friday. It's a 4 LP release. It's an RSD exclusive, limited to 5,000 copies. Because of those 4 LPs, I'm sure it's going to be north of $100. But this is all recorded in May of 1970, Cobo Arena in Detroit during the Roadhouse Blues tour. It's never been available on vinyl. This is a great live show. If you haven't heard this before, it's definitely worth checking out. Even if you don't pick up a copy of it on vinyl, it's still it's a really great concert. I think this is like the Doors at their peak live. There's like a 19-minute version of Light My Fire on there. I know they do a really long version of the end, even though I know the end is a really long song, but I think the live version is like 18 or 19 minutes also. Like I said, 4 LPs, it's going to be expensive, but I think it's going to be a good release. And then the last album I got on my list, another live album. It's another one I'm pretty sure I'm going to grab on Black Friday, but this is the Rolling Stones, Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. This is a RSD first, limited to 6,400 copies. It's going to be on Candy Cane Swirl vinyl. So this album actually has the distinction of being the first ever live album ever to hit #1 on the UK Albums Chart. This was recorded in November 1969 at Madison Square Gardens in New York. It's got an incredible version of probably my favorite Rolling Stones song, Sympathy for the Devil on there. It's, like I said, another great live album. Definitely one worth checking out. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Make sure you drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of this RSD Black Friday list. Are you going to go? What do you want to pick up? Like I said, there's at least 3 or 4 albums I know for sure I'm going to grab. And then as pricing comes out over the next week or so, I'll, determine what else I'm going to grab or cut off of the list. But let me know what you guys are looking forward to. Like always, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. That's all I got. Until next time, keep all spinning. Peace.